Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I'm Sam.
And I'm Trish.
And today Bernard is in more pain. So me and Trish played Another World, the seminal cinematic platformer game by Eric Chahi from 1991 for the Amiga. But before we get to all of that, how was your week, Trish?
So now sometimes we'll go, sometimes we usually do a week between recordings. Sometimes we'll do 2 weeks. And even then, sometimes we'll do 2 weeks between recordings, and I've got nothing to say. Just like fucking nothing happened to me. And I'll just like ramble about some game I played or something. That's not happening this time. Now, as Sam knows, and some listeners might remember, because I think I have brought up a time or two, I recently went to Canada and got back from Canada, and once again, I'm cursed. But not cursed the way you'd expect. This time around, despite the just horrible shit happening with our country right now, the border crossing went smooth both times. Me and my wife blame it on the fact that we are white, and so we do have an advantage in that realm. But still, that was nice. We were both going because she had a partner up in Canada, I have a partner up in Canada, so we spent the first night at her partner because her partner's place was much closer. Mine is like an hour north of Toronto. So we spend the first night at our partner's place. It's fine. It's a good time. I wake up the next morning to messages from my partner, my Canada wife, as I sometimes call her, and I wake up to find her being like, yeah, so there was these huge ice storms all over Ontario, and she lives in a basement apartment, and for the third time since I've started dating her, that apartment has flooded.
Oh, damn.
And the power's out. Not just at her place, the entire town. So we go over there. On the way, we make sure to pick up her gas because she was low on gas. She didn't have enough gas to get to the nearest gas station because all the gas stations were closed. So we picked up gas for her. We picked up food. Went, and then I spent the first 3 days of my time with her in cold house. So her landlord lives directly above her, and the landlord was out of town, so he was having her and her roommate stay in his place while he was out of town. So I joined them for that, and then the same day the power came back, that was rough. It was cold. Phones were constantly running out of charge. Then the day the power comes back is the day the landlord comes back, and despite saying initially he was like, oh, I'll be out of your hair soon, he stayed for another 4 days.
Oh, man.
And sharing space with him wasn't great, but eventually he left. My two partners got to meet because my partner went and spent a night up at this partner's place, and so I got to have all of us together in one place. It was really lovely. We had a great time. Here's the thing, so overall it was very good. I had a very good time, but also I was without power for 4 days, and my girlfriend kept apologizing to me about like showing me a bad time, and I had to keep telling her, you didn't do anything wrong. And like, no. I had a great time, and I'm glad I was there while that was happening, because I've been here. Like I said, this has happened before. I've been here where I sit now, having to be on the computer with her, messaging her whenever she has the battery to message, and she's having a horrible time. It sucks. One of my least favorite things in the world is, especially with all my long distance relationships, is knowing someone I love is going through a horrible time and feeling powerless to do anything about that. I should also say, during this whole time, the same day that it was like, oh, the basement flooded and the power's out, the same day that another partner of mine,
oh man,
had a against their will mental health intervention that led to them being out of contact for the whole week.
Damn.
So it's just been, it was a week. It was one hell of a week. But I'm back now. I'm home, and I say that, but also in 2 days I'm going to New Jersey because me and one of my other partners, we have tickets to a Sailor Moon live show in Philadelphia.
Nice.
So I'm gonna go see a Sailor Moon live show, and I'll tell you about how that is once it happens. But Yeah, I'm doing a lot of traveling right now because who knows how long it'll be safe for me to live in this country.
Right?
I gotta get this shit in now. Um, so all that happened. My only other thing for this week happened is, um, during this time I also started listening to a podcast. I'll get into this probably in a post show, but
Mhm.
that podcast reminded me of the fact that despite Scream being one of my favorite horror film franchises, if not just my favorite, I hadn't
Mhm.
seen 4, 5, or 6.
Mhm.
So, randomly being poked about that a couple days ago, I watched 4 and 5 in one day and then 6 the next. And fuck, these movies are good. Movies really
Yeah.
good. I love them. I'm really glad because God, Scream 3 lowered my expectations so bad. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. What about you, Sam?
So I mentioned having a new cutie a couple of recordings ago, and
You did.
me and the new cutie are now official, and that's super cool and super awesome.
Woohoo!
And as such, uh, we had a date the other day where we watched Stargate 1994 because I am a gigantic fan of the television shows, like gigantic. It's exactly my shit sort of fan of the shows, and I've never seen the movie. And my partner is a gigantic fan of specifically Kurt Russell, and therefore Stargate 1994, and have seen it a bajillion times and never once watched the show. And so uh, we're going to trade these. And so we watched the movie, and now we're going to make our way through all 17 seasons of the show. I think I won in that trade. Um, one singular 2-hour movie versus 17 seasons of hour-long television.
Yeah,
But
that's the kind of thing I would do. That's the kind of bullshit I would do.
and so Stargate 1994 is really good. B, absolutely bizarre as a concept,
Oh,
and
100%.
trying trying to like trying to imagine the lore and shit that they built to make Stargate, and the fact that it is not a Star Trek like the television show is a Star Trek, and all of those things is like, what the flying fuck. So when you make a a machine where you can put in the coordinates, the space coordinates, and then teleport yourself to a Stargate on that planet, why would why would your movie just be about one place? Why would the movie not be about going to multiple places? Like, why? Why? And there was just so many things that like are obvious givens from like the lore of the television show that weren't part of the movie, and it's bizarre to me. So like the whole thing in the Stargate franchise is that the basically all of the human gods were aliens called the Goa'uld, and because Goa'uld, if you are a caveman, sounds like God. That's where the word comes from. And the Goa'uld are snakies that live inside your tum tum that grab onto your spinal cord and take you over. And in the movie, he's just an alien guy. He's just an alien guy with a machine that keeps him young forever. So he's just an alien guy,
Yep.
and it's weird. um, none so many things where it's like, yeah, they don't go to multiple places. They only have a connection to this one thing. And in the like expanded lore for the like 3 or 4 years before the show started, uh, they like found another Stargate also somewhere on Earth that was connected to a different one. So it's not even like why the coordinates if they're linked to specific other Stargates? Like why is this the lore that the movie came up with? And like, props to the creators of the show because they took it and ran with it, and they built a really cool sci-fi universe that I love. But the movie in a vacuum is so bizarre to me as a side effect. But now that I can comment on casting in reverse because I've now seen the original and who they cast in the show, they found a perfect James Spader person for Daniel Jackson. I can't remember the actual actor's name, but the guy that plays Daniel Jackson, is exactly right. No notes. I would not have cast MacGyver as Kurt Russell. They kind of have nothing in common, but I prefer TV show Jack by a lot. So I'm fine with the fact that they miscast. But yeah, I can't, like, watching the movie, I can't consider Kurt Russell's Jack O'Neill as MacGyver's Jack O'Neill.
That's so fascinating because I'm much more on your partner's side. I really love Kurt Russell stuff, and including I've seen several times the Stargate film. Never seen a single episode of the Stargate TV shows. Never been particularly interested. Like I probably will check it out inevitably, but when I do, it'll probably be after I see like Babylon 5 or something.
Yeah,
because at least Babylon 5's got Rousseau in it.
yeah. The main guy of Babylon 5 joins the Stargate team down the line, and Jewel State from Serenity and Firefly joins the Stargate team down the line. So it's star-studded. Marina Sirtis from Star Trek joins the Stargate team down the line. She's the Russians find a second Stargate and they Cold War it, and she's the Russian lead of the Stargate team. And I love her in everything ever, forever. But yeah, so watched a lot of Stargate. We were going to watch Stargate Origins, which, Trish, if you haven't seen any of the show, I recommend the next thing you watch be Stargate Origins. Not because it's very good, but because it steps on a lot of lore and then bends over backwards to fix it. And it will be better as this is a weird thing that happened, instead of 80 minutes of that's not how it works, with 10 minutes of, okay, well, I guess you made it work, but it's still stupid. So I recommend doing Origins next and then watching the television shows whenever you get around to it. Or just
SG-1 and then Atlantis?
Yeah, so it's SG-1 for 7 seasons, and then it's SG-1 in Atlantis for Buffy and Angel.
It's a Buffy Angel situation. Okay, cool.
And then I think there's 2 seasons of Atlantis by itself, and then after that is Universe. And then much later after that is when Origins came out, which was when Amazon was like, yeah, we called Dean Devlin, and Dean Devlin's going to make a second Stargate movie. And then every person who has like Stargate tattoos were like, no, don't do that. Why would you skip over 17 seasons worth of lore? Like, no. And so Origins tries to have it both ways, and it tries to be both a prequel to the show and the movies in ways that don't necessarily match up. And it's very odd. So
that sounds messy as hell.
Yeah, and because it's messy as hell, I really like it. But
you know what else is messy as hell?
This game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's listen to some of the music by Jean-Francois. I can't pronounce the last name. Free something. Jean-Francois, our friend that made the music for this game. We'll listen to his music, and then we'll talk about the game. As usual, here's a little history on the development of this game. So Eric Chahi, the creator of Another World, he cut his teeth on the adventure game called Future Wars. I think it was also for the Amiga back in the day. It's old computers in Europe. I don't know any of them. But after Future Wars was released, he had the opportunity to either go with the old developer to make graphics for the sequel, or to make his own game. And because at this point the Amiga had been out for a while, so there was a lot of like DIY books and tools and stuff on how to make games for the Amiga, he figured he could pull it off. He was inspired by how cool the Amiga version of Dragon Slayer looked, because it had very flat colors and a lot of fluid animation, but he also saw how much animation was reused because of size constraints, and he thought that if he used vector graphics instead of bitmap graphics, he could get a lot more graphics for a lot less storage. So he read all of those books and all of those tools, realized he couldn't do what he wanted, so he wrote his own assembly code to make vectorized polygons on screen. And he loaded up the screen with test polygons and saw that he could animate them at about 20 frames per second, which he later credits as like the turning point on like oh shit, I think I can actually do this and make the game. So he rotoscoped some animations of himself, like walking and doing a couple other things. He free-handed some other animations, and he ended up using bitmaps for the backgrounds because the vector polygons, or the pixigons as he calls them, were too unwieldy to make the background really work, and it was just easier to just put in some backgrounds. He finished creating the game engine, made sure all of that was working, but the game itself he let develop layer by layer without really knowing where it was going. He kind of made it in order. Development took about 2 years before it was finally released in November of 1991, where it received a bunch of critical acclaim. Everyone said it was too short, so he added a couple levels when he ported it to every single console known to man. It was released on the Apple IIgs, MS-DOS, SNES, Genesis, Sega CD, 3DO, feature phones, Windows mobile phones, Windows XP, iOS phones, Android phones, Windows 10, OS X, Jaguar, 3DS, Wii U, PS3, PS4, PS Vita, Xbox One, Switch, and probably some others that I missed. This game is on everything, which made deciding which one to play hard. I started on the Sega CD version because it has CD quality audio and the others don't. And the audio was also made by Jean-Francois. So it's like legit, really good audio. But it doesn't have the easy mode. And this game is really fucking hard. I got to the Steam vents, and it's like a 2 frame window to get through. And I said, fuck this. And I started over on the PS4. What version did you play?
I also I played the Sega one.
The Sega CD one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's so hard.
Yeah, I was like about to throw my controller on easy mode on the PS4, so I can't imagine what the end game of the Sega CD version was like. But yeah, so the game starts with Lester Chaikin. He is a young physicist with a cool-ass Ferrari coming to his laboratory where he's working on a particle accelerator, but during his test of the accelerator, his lab is struck by lightning, which causes a tear in space-time, dropping him into a pool of water on an alien planet. And then right away you get control, and you find out that this game is a try-and-die sort of game, like Oddworld famously is. Thankfully, it has infinite lives and plenty of checkpoints. Even the PS4 version, which has more checkpoints, does not have as many as I'd like. When I was playing on Sega CD, I was save stating every single screen. But yeah, so you run around. If you go the wrong way, you'll get attacked by leeches who zoom in with a cutscene to show that you barely get nicked, and you fall over and die because they're mega poisonous. You die a lot.
It's so good. I love it.
So
also, just in general, as I say to start off, I love the graphics in this game. They are gorgeous.
Absolutely. And because they're vector, when they made the PS4 in later versions, they just ran the vectors again, so they're not sprites. They're like always high def for wherever it is, and it's really cool.
It's so cool. Love vector graphics are so fascinating.
Yeah. Kind of insane to me that they fell off as hard as they did. But
yeah, right?
So in the distance, you see a large growling monster, and after you die approximately infinity times to the leeches that you have to jump over, you run face to face to the monster, who begins chasing you. You get a
See, I died more often to this monster.
Oh, me too. I died more often to the leeches running away from this monster than I did to the monster.
I killed all the leeches. I killed all the leeches before getting to the monster.
Yeah, I did too, and then more fell from the ceiling on my way back.
Well, if you make sure and like get them to fall and kill them, they don't respawn, or at least it didn't in my game.
Okay. Maybe there just were more and I didn't see it, but I tried that once.
The second screen, there's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, and some of them don't show up until you've been on the screen for a certain length of time.
Yes, that's probably what happened, because I had tried to kill them all to get him out of the way, and it didn't work. So I just had to time my jumps. So fuck me, I guess. So when you get away from the monster, you come into contact with the main inhabitants of this planet, who are tall, buff, humanoid aliens that kind of remind me of the brutes from Halo. They grab Lester and they throw him in prison, where he shares a cage with an alien captive that the instruction manual refers to as Buddy. Because the only dialogue in the game is the PC at the very, very beginning, and the rest of the game has no HUD, no dialogue, just vibes, and the vibes are fantastic. But
Yep.
I bet Trish didn't know the name Lester or Buddy until I said them just now.
No, I knew that. I knew them 20 seconds before you said them because I looked up the game on TV Tropes.
Nice. um. So, the rest of the game basically can be summed up as Lester and Buddy team up to escape prison, and then they fly away on the back of a dragon. But we are who we are, so we'll go into a little bit more detail by discussing the levels and the vibes and some of the set pieces therein.
I will
So,
just say the when you say the vibes, honestly, this is like a platformer version of a King's Quest game is what kept
yeah,
coming into my brain. Like it is that level of like some of this is stupid difficult or so unintuitive what you need to do.
yeah,
But it's fun. I
yeah,
like it.
yeah. I wish that I wasn't on a time crunch and wasn't using a guide, because I bet this game would be really cool to like make a notebook about, to be like,
Yeah.
oh, that's the other thing I did this week. I started playing Blueprints. We'll talk about it in the post show. But like having a notebook of like, oh, here's a room where I drop in, and the lights are a little flickery, and the guys shoot me the moment I land. I don't know how to get past that. I'm going to jot it down that it's a thing and explore elsewhere. And then, oh shit, I found a power box I can blow up. I'm going to go see if that changed that room, etc. But
Yeah.
just following the guide, it's like, okay, go through this very long thing and you will see a single button on the wall. Press it. This will be important in 2 hours.
Yep.
uh, so the
Honestly,
first,
one thing that took me a while is the mechanics with the gun aren't super
oh,
intuitive in the fact that I figured out quickly, oh, if I charge, it makes a shield. That's
mhm,
really cool. I like this mechanic. And then I didn't realize about the charging it further for the
mhm,
super blast because
yeah,
there's no indication that that's a thing.
no, none at all. Uh, Yeah, and I'll go ahead and bring it up now. The Amiga controller had two buttons, so you have a hold down the button to run button that is also the hold down the button to shoot and charge your gun button, and also the everything else in the game button. It's called the action button in the on the PS4 version. When you die, it says press the action button. The other button is the jump button, and it only does jump. I don't feel that those were split up properly. I feel like maybe they should have shared the weight, but the action button doing everything, so many times I would be running and I'd come to a stop and I would shoot my gun, and that would be the last bit of ammo that I had, and I would have to reload from a checkpoint because I would just fuck myself over. It's
Yeah.
a- most of the difficulty of this game comes from the controls are bad. And on the PS4 version, at least, the run button is X and the jump button is square, which should be backwards. Just it should be backwards.
$100%.
The thumb feel for that just it drove me up the wall. And so many times I would be doing one of the big try and die puzzles where you just have to know what to do and execute it over and over again. I think it was the one later with the really deep pit. And so I went over to do the thing, and I'm like, all right, now I just have to time my jump. And then I would pull out my gun and shoot it, and pulling out my gun would make me take a step forward, and I would fall to my death. And it does that a lot. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So the first
But
thing we did,
also, the feeling of running and jumping in this game is very good.
yes,
It's
I would
surprisingly
love.
nice.
I just want someone to mod the game and put shoot on circle, and 10 out of 10. No notes. Uh, So yeah, so in the jail, you are in a cage and you swing back and forth as one does to get it to fall off, land on the guard, and you steal the guard's gun, which, as we said, you can shoot a laser, create a shield, shoot a Kamehameha wave out of it. You shoot the guards a lot to get and Buddy comes with you into there's like a elevator area where I got lost for a long time because I'm dumb.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
same.
that was the moment that I started following the guide, because before then it's just a try and die sort of game where it's like, oh, I did it wrong, let me do it again. And this was the first time where it's like, oh, you have to go do this stupid thing over there to make over here make any sense whatsoever. So that's when I had the guide up. But as you get through this part, the guards hold up you and Buddy. Buddy opens a hole in the floor, and you fall through, and he stays behind and gets captured again. Which brings us to the pipes.
The pipes. The pipes are blowing.
The pipes fucking suck.
They're so bad.
Like on the PS4 remake with the easy mode, they're not as bad, but this was the moment where I was like, I'm not doing this anymore, and I gave up and switched it, because the timing on rolling through past some of the steam in the pipes, like specifically, there's one where I think it's the second time you fall down, and there's one on either side of you that's going like ch 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 ch.
Yeah,
timing through that one, especially because one of them leads you to a dead end where you can't even die. You have to reload. It's I hated it so much.
It sucks so bad.
So you eventually make it through the pipes to get to the caves, which are the other really shitty part of this game. So they have Half-Life tentacles on the ceiling, and they have tiny Sarlacc pits on the floor, and you have to dodge by all of them. The window to jump over the ones on the floor, I don't even know what it is. I don't know how I actually got around it there in the end. But like so many times, I would think I would have it perfect, and I would make the jump, and I would land straight in the Sarlacc pit. It was very difficult. Once you get through all of them, though, you come to a dead end, and you're like, "What the? Like, I had to blow open a door to get in here. What is this?" And it is the first of the very obtuse things that you need to do in order to get past the screen that instantly kills you an hour from now, and there are a lot of those in this game. So blowing up
King's Quest. It's very King's Quest.
Yeah, blowing up this door it's like it's at the end of the whole next level is where this comes up. So you have to finish all of the caves and then all of the city number 2 level, and then this will come in handy. It's nuts. So you open the door, and then you turn around and you jump past the tentacles in reverse, and I feel they're harder in reverse somehow. I don't have any reason why they should be, but I feel like getting back was way harder than getting there. And then once you get past them, you blow up a thing which floods the caves, and then you have to run past them while water's coming at you to be able to get out and make it into the city proper.
And the entire time you're doing all of this, you either have your buddy with you, or he is currently waylaid by some obstacle that you're doing all of this shit so he's able to continue.
Yes. When you get to the city, you see Buddy again, but he's stuck behind an obstacle, and so you have to do what I like to call a lot of fucking around until you make it to the next thing. So like you drop one set of chandeliers, which for some reason lets Buddy through the air vents. Then you drop another set of chandeliers in a completely odd part of the thing to kill the guards that's underneath it. But you can miss that. So not only do you need to know that's there, you need to time it properly to drop it on the guard. Otherwise, you're like soft locked until you die. The cool thing about the checkpoints in this game, though, is they know if you've done it wrong. And so if you die somewhere and it feels like it takes you a really long way back, it's because you've missed one of these little things. And that came in handy later when you where you have to hold up the guard with your gun. That one, there was a lot of things you have to do in a specific order, and so it kept taking me back to the beginning. Thankfully, where I could fix the things I had fucked up. Eventually, you swim down through that hole you made earlier, because when you flooded the tunnels, they're now flooded with water, so now you can swim down through it to escape. And when you you are reunited with Buddy. There's a bunch of guards coming at you, and they will infinitely respawn, and so you're just trying to survive. Buddy reaches down out of the air vent and pulls you up to safety.
I want to say I do really enjoy the gun combat in this game, and also the set pieces when you're needing to just book it away and they're firing it. Like, I don't know how the game mechanic works of sometimes when they fire, it doesn't hit you and it just goes by you, because, we see this in 2 dimensions, but presumably this is a 3-dimensional space. So your character's able to dodge some of these blasts. I don't know how it determines when you get hit and when you don't, but it's really fun.
Uh-huh.
I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. So when Buddy pulls us up, we are now at the palace. We're 3 levels from the end, but the palace is really big. So the first thing we have to do is we get immediately caught. Like 2 seconds after we escape, we're caught and they kill us immediately. But you can sneak around. It's use the background layer in a way that you haven't in the whole game so far, and so you can sneak around the room instead of going through it to come across
It's
the back.
so wild.
Yeah. And you come through the back to save Buddy. Once you do, you start booking it, and you at this point run faster than Buddy. So you come up to this jump that looks like you can make it. So you jump and you don't make it, and you fall 6 screens and splat on the floor, and it is awesome. So you then reload and you let Buddy go first, and Buddy will throw you across. But when he throws you across, he tries to jump and he doesn't quite make it, and he's just dangling, needing your help. So you then you jump halfway into the thing to catch an awning to go through, and this is where I mentioned earlier, there's guards that are unarmed, so you're coming in with a pistol, so they run away, but one of the guards doesn't quite make it, so you hold him up, and he does, in my favorite bit of storytelling in the middle of the level, so he puts his hands up like don't shoot, and realizes his hand is by the emergency security override, and he just reaches up and taps it and closes all the doors in the building. It's very cute. But our gun can Kamehameha, so we just kill him anyways. We blow open his door and kill him. Then you have to there's a guy who has bombs that he'll throw at you, and so you have to trick him into throwing 4 bombs and missing, so that then when you his bombs will blow open a hole in the floor below. And that hole down there is where the lights are flickering and the guys shoot at you. So you then go to a different other place to find a power box that you can destroy, to then go back into the dark room and run past. As you're running past, guards are shooting at you, and you find a lever that when you pull it in a really well animated, I'm a small little boy and this is a very giant buff alien world, I can't grab this by myself, so you're like yanking on it, and it's really good. And when you open it, it releases a bunch of the big giant monsters from the beginning all through the town, and so the cops are no longer shooting at you, they're shooting at the monsters, and you can just run through, save Buddy, and then the 2 of you steal a spaceship. You steal the spaceship and you drive it along the ground to into this arena, and Buddy doesn't know how to drive it, and you don't know how to drive it, so you get a mini game of press all the fucking buttons, and you just, there's no rhyme or reason to it. I'm sure part of it is like a puzzle, you can figure it out, but you also just can press all of the buttons until you find the one that launches you out, and it's very good. When I saw there was a level called the arena, I thought we were going to have to do a lot of fighting, but no, you just mash buttons and that's the whole level.
I love it when we get to mash buttons and that's an entire level.
So the when you press the right button on the spaceship, it launches you and Buddy in escape pods, and they fly up and crash into a bathhouse where the aliens are having a big old orgy, and you crash the orgy, and they all run away. Run away, and then you have a bunch of guards that rush in to try and shoot you, and this is actually the final boss of the game. It's you have to think I think you have to take like 6 of them down, and there's nothing to hide behind. You just have to be better at your gun control than they are, which is pretty
Yep.
cool. And after you kill them all, you and Buddy are running away, and then a laser blast blows a hole in the bridge, and you fall down. And then you see an alien hand come and grab you, and you're like, "Yay, Buddy saved me!" But it's not Buddy. It is some. It's an alien guy that has a unique sprite that we haven't seen before. I'm guessing he's a boss
Yeah.
of some sort, and he beats the living fucking shit out of Lester. And Lester is like barely able to crawl on the floor. But in comes Buddy. We've saved him enough times this game where now he's going to save us, and he starts fighting the boss. So then you have to hold the action button, but don't hold it too long, because then that becomes trying to reach the lever. You have to hold it just long enough where your arm goes a little in front of you to grab the floor and pull yourself along. It is very annoying in like a good way, because you've got your ass kicked and you can barely crawl, and it's like very thematic. But the save point here is too far back, and it's like uh, it pisses me off. It's like at the bathhouse is where this save point was here. So you have to do all the shit again because crawling is so hard. But eventually you make it to the end right as the bad guy kicks Buddy off, and Buddy's like dangling on the side, and the bad guy's coming over to like kick your ass one last time. But you pull the 2 levers. The first one zaps the bad guy. The second one teleports you and Buddy up to the roof where there's a dragon, just because. And you and Buddy hop on the back of the dragon, and you fly off into the sunset to be gay together forever.
Exactly. That was
The
exactly what I was thinking. The end.
uh, yeah. So let's listen to another one of Jean-Francois's kick-ass tracks, and then we'll talk about our memorable moments in the game as a whole. So yeah, Trish, what did you think about this game?
I think it's a really fun game. And by that I mean it is. I didn't grow up playing adventure games like King's Quest,
Mm-hmm.
but I did grow up playing games of a different part of the difficulty of this era, like Battletoads
Mm-hmm.
and stupid stuff like that. So this is definitely like this weird hybrid between ridiculous, stupid NES kind of bullshit hard,
Mm-hmm.
and because it is a platformer, but it also has the wild logic of a Sierra game.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's a fun mix. I think the art's gorgeous. I think it is just a fun experience.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think it is definitely one of those things where uh, you could say it is too difficult or too what the fuck at times,
Mm-hmm.
and I wouldn't disagree with that. But I also think like that's just kind of the era. That's what we're dealing with. You gotta meet the art where it's at,
And
and
also, if it wasn't so hard, this game would be 20 minutes long. Like
yes.
it is not a very long game, and a lot of it is trying something, dying, trying something else, exploring in a different area, etc., etc. And if you know where to go and you don't die on the way, like I wonder what the speed run is for this game. It's probably incredibly short.
It's something like 20 minutes. I'm gonna look
Um,
now.
so speedrun.com, another world, the PC
Seven forty
7
eight.
748.
Holy shit!
Yeah, so
Okay
yeah, this,
then.
this game's not long.
Yeah,
and,
no.
and yeah, so the difficulty just it's like part of it. It's like again, Dragon's Lair is kind of the OG try and die. It's just not a platformer like this one is. And Dragon's Lair, if you're good at all of the QuickTime events, it's a very tiny game, but you're supposed to watch your guy die over and over and over because it's really hard, and you have to like the deaths are part of it, and it's it's good. And I don't. They were the only part that I absolutely hated about the difficulty was just there's too many things on one button, and if they put it to the other button, it would change the game, and it probably wouldn't be that good. But it would be something that I would be okay with changing the game that way in a quality of life sort of way. But if run and shoot were on two different buttons, it would probably be perfect.
I would agree. I think that would be a big improvement on the game.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Uh,
but
earlier,
yeah, okay.
earlier on Discord, I had said that it's kind of nuts that only Oddworld copied their homework exactly, which isn't quite true. A lot of recent indie games have been like, recent-ish indie games have been copying its homework, and there was one called I didn't write it down. God damn it! And I closed Steam so that I could have more stuff open. It's called Void something. Uh,
Wait, is it Void Stranger?
no.
Okay. I have a partner who's obsessed with that game, so I was briefly like, hmm?
Full Void. It looks fantastic, and because I had so much fun with this game, I'm probably going to buy Full Void and give it a shot. It looks exact same vibes as Another World, and looks like it's fantastic. But yeah, the Oddworld games, specifically Abe's Odyssey and Abe's Exodus, are some of my favorite games that I've never come close to beating. Uh, because they, like this game, are really bullshit hard, and you just kind of got to try and die and make your way through it. And so this game having a lot of the same vibes was really nice. It was kind of cool to see where it came from.
Yeah.
Apparently, the sequel that's on the Sega CD was not made by Eric Chahi, wasn't even made by Interplay, wasn't made by anyone involved. It was just the porters made their second, and nobody likes it. And Eric Chahi has come out and said, this is not canon. This is not what happens next. This game sucks. So I have not played it, but makes me not really want to play it.
Yeah, no, that's not exactly a glowing endorsement.
No. They also made the not developer, the publishers also did Flashback, which is a fairly similar vibe game. Uh, and then
It's where I first heard the term cinematic platformer.
mhm,
Thank you, Folding Ideas, for including that game in your video about James Rolfe.
nice. And then I didn't think of it at the like when I was thinking of this game and if there were any games like it. I wasn't thinking about it, but Limbo and Inside are both also cinematic platformers
Oh,
that
definitely.
have a lot of this game's
DNA.
DNA. Yeah, and so yeah, I liked this game so much that I want to go and play as many of them as I can, and maybe just maybe that means I'll finish New and Tasty and Soulstorm, but no promises. I think it's kind of poetic how much I love those games, and I haven't beaten a single Oddworld game. I haven't come close, really. Um, yeah. Other Mim Moms, do you have any?
I don't think I got any others. It's a short game. I mean, it's a long game, but it's a short game.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about, the bits that jump out to me.
Yeah.
Except I will say, I think I said it before. I'll just say again, I do really enjoy the laser gun combat in this game.
Yeah.
It's 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 hard to say it's well crafted necessarily, but
Mhm.
the video game equivalent of mouthfeel is
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. Especially like I finally kind of got it all to click instead of just mashing, which you can get through with mashing if you want. It's fine. But in the final boss fight, where I was like, all right, I know they're coming, so open a shield and then immediately start charging so that I can shoot it through my shield to take down their shield, and then I press it again immediately to follow it with a little laser and get them. And that like back and forth feel of it was really, really cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah. I big enjoy.
Big enjoy.
But yeah, I think that will do it for the week. If you like what you heard today, you can head on over to www.rpgbook.club, or you can donate to help support us. If you do, you will get some extra benefits. At $1 a month, the Gadabout tier gets access to our bonus feed, where we have after shows for every episode, as well as bonus seasons of the show that are backer only. At $5 a month, the Warrior tier gets the above, but I also read their names at the end of every episode like this. Shoutouts to Frosthair, Dragonslayer19, Kale Dranas, Freddy Rodriguez, Aaron524, and JFro Prime. And then at $20 a month, the Luminary tier gets all of the above, plus a one-sentence shout-out to whatever it is they're passionate about. Shoutouts to El Tantivy, who wants you to check out Aftermath.site, a worker-owned, reader-supported news site covering video games, the internet, and the cultures that surround them. Shout out to Vimke, who says the ninth would be coming out of their cells after morning contemplation, getting ready to head for Orison, and the Dear Bro retainers would be preparing for the day ahead. And then shoutouts to It's Clear Time, who says, for you TTRPG nerds, check out Fabula Ultima. I'm not affiliated with the game. I just think it's neat. For RPG Book Club, I've been Sam.
And I'm Trish.
Toodaloo, folks.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks for intervening. I could have talked about Stargate for forever.
You're so welcome. Oh, gosh.
It's okay. This episode's going to be real short anyways.
It is, and then we could have a wonderful post show.
About Stargate.